It's a great line. It is absolutely meaningless, but it is a great line. Alcohol is your yoga, baby.
It's just the, and you said that I'm taken to the video of like the dramatic close up of his.
Yeah, it's got the black
like,
ink going down. Alcohol is your yoga, baby.
It's showtime, folks.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name is John, and that guy over there is Andy. And I've got a splendid belter for him to listen to. But before we do that, just a quick reminder to you guys, if you do like this song, please like it on the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't done already. Maybe even hit that bell to get notifications so you don't miss all the splendid bangers that we're dropping. Sound like a very clumsy butcher, don't we? But that being said, Andy, are you in the mood for some music?
Of course I am, especially if it's a belter. What do you have in store for me today, John?
So there's a band which I'm 50-50 whether you've heard of them or not. Love and Rockets.
No, I haven't. Instantly makes me think of that song Blood and Rockets that I suggested months ago for Greg, but no, I don't know of any Love and Rockets.
Okay, cool. All right, so you certainly won't know that. Well, if you've heard the song, you wouldn't have forgotten the title. Yin and Yang, the Flowerpot Man.
No, not that old chestnut. But I'm very much looking forward to giving it a listen, especially with a name like that.
Okay, I suggest you attach all safety harnesses possible, and enjoy.
All right, I'm going to strap myself in and go for a ride. I'll be back shortly. The way the guy playing bass is just going at that string. Oh man, let's take this back a little bit. That acoustic guitar was, for an acoustic, quite thunderous to start things off. That was nice. All right, let's do this again.
Got
they can't just let me listen and like the song. They've got to be throwing distractions at me like this. No, this is really it's. At first, I didn't know how much I was going to take this seriously just because of the nature of the video, but the music is actually really, really good and fun, and they're doing interesting things with sound and sound dynamics. So let's bring this back to perhaps here-ish. Yeah, it's as good a place as any. I like how the bass is switched up for this part, and also like hats off to the brushwork on the snare that this drummer is pulling off. Like this is, I mean, he's not going like John Bonham or Dave Grohl on any of this stuff, but it's just such a consistent beat for the song, and he's really going at it with brushes, which not that it's not as easy as just using conventional sticks when you're back there. So he's getting the perfect amount of sound out of that snare with those brushes, and it might not sound like it because it is brushes, but he's giving it his all back there. So let's go on. Wow, yeah, that's another good song suggestion from our friend John. That was fun, and it had some good lyrics that I caught in there. Something about beauty in the hurricane's eye. It's an interesting line. Yeah, let's talk to John about this. Oh my God, I'm a little disoriented from that ride you just sent me on. This was fun, man. This was fun as hell. There's
Interesting, isn't it?
the aesthetic. I mean, the aesthetic is the aesthetic. It's hilarious. It's definitely of a time. I definitely got like Robert Smith kind of early aesthetics off the lead singer. The other two guys weren't nearly as dolled up, but still very much 80s in their appearance. But yeah, now that the elephant in the room has been addressed, man, the song starts with this like amazingly, like you said, strap yourself in, and I'm thinking, okay. and then with all instruments they use to make you say something like strap yourself in, it's the damn acoustic guitar and snare drum with brushes. But I'll be damned if those guys didn't put every goddamn ounce of themselves into that acoustic guitar and those brushes.
You kind of feel like you're on a train almost, you know?
Yeah, it does have this chicka 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 chicka, just the nature of the brush sounds, right? And the speed at which they're playing. But yeah, the song started off amazingly with those instruments, and then I don't know, I was obviously taken by the music. I had to laugh at the bass player because he is just abusing the shit out of that top string with just one finger, like plucking away at that thing. I had to stop and laugh at that. But the music was great. I heard this line that early on that caught my attention and then was repeated, I believe, thereafter at points in the song. But the beauty in the hurricane's eye, which I thought is just a lovely little snippet of a lyric. But the lyrics are coming and going with me, to be completely honest with you. Between, I think, maybe the accent barrier and the speed of the song, it was only those parts that kind of opened up where I could pick up on lyrics. Then there was at the point where it changed up a bit, like I found myself loving the use of dynamics, which you and I often gravitate toward in music, and also pitch manipulation. There was a lot of that going on too. And it was very much an electric guitar, but I'll be damned if I saw one at any point throughout this video. Like, I was trying to keep my eyes peeled for it, but it was just this ivory acoustic guitar that dude was hammering out on. But there was something electric and very much guitar-like was creating all the sounds that I just alluded to, and I thought were awesome. Yeah, and the song needed that, or else it was just going to be the same linear pattern, you know what I mean? Which, I mean, wouldn't have made it a bad song, but this made it a good song, you know what I mean? So it was very much needed in my opinion at this point. And sorry for revisiting this, but this is where I just stopped and said, hats off to the drummer for just great brushwork. Like, people discount that and they're only looking at the fact that he's really hanging out on a snare drum, but you have to beat the shit out of a snare drum with brushes to get that kind of sound out of it. So he was like, you know, his forearms were probably sore after this one. So, you know, good on him. Also, there's this another phase of the song that becomes almost psychedelic in its delivery. And I don't even know if it's almost, it really just does sound like psychedelic to me. And I really loved the simple but very effective bass work in that part of the song. Like, that really captured my attention. It was the first time where I was really like, all right, stop looking at this guy as like the comic through line of the song and appreciate what he's doing here, because it was really great. And also, not related to the sound, I loved the playful nature of the bandmates, particularly the drummer, as the song was kind of winding down and he's just tapping anything in sight with these brushes to really like hammer home what a mainstay, and again, I'll use this term, through line of the song that brush sound was. So maybe some of the best use of brushes I've heard in a song, just off the sheer tenacity of it all. You know what I mean? You don't normally equate, when you see the drummer bust out the brushes, you're like, all right, here comes the slow song, or here comes the light jazzy number. But no, you can, this song proves you can use brushes on anything. And then one last lyric snippet that caught my eye and was interesting and made me want to know more about what the song was about without cheating and digging into the lyrics and doing all this stuff, is alcohol is your yoga, baby. Sort of in that psychedelic part, he says this. And I'm thinking, yoga makes you healthy and stretches you out and centers your chi and all this shit. And alcohol, I'm pretty sure, just dehydrates you and leaves you as a wreck in the morning. So I thought that was kind of funny and head scratching. So yeah, that is, I don't know. I'm under the impression that, and again, I think I've said this recently after a song where, like, I've listened to this song, I've heard this tune, but I don't think, I look at these guys and I can't think that this is their normative sound. Like, is this one of their faster paced fun songs, but they're capable of matching their music to what looks to be kind of like this 80s goth pop rock like aesthetic that they have going on, or what the hell's the deal there? Because this
Well,
seemed really
kind of.
playful for a band that looked like they could be very morose or goth in some of their other, ventures musically. It's book by the cover 101. I know I'm just judging a book by the cover, but
yeah. They, in particular, the front guy, Daniel Ash, hadn't really changed his look from his previous band, which is why you say that. So I'll go into a bit about them. So they're founded in 85, and all three of them are ex-members of the band Bauhaus, which is one of the first gothic post-punk bands in the UK. So they were, Bela Lugosi's Dead, all that stuff, dark, black and white imagery, vampires, all that sort of stuff. So that's, the look. So the guys are Daniel Ash, vocals, guitar, and saxophone. Not on this track. David J on bass and vocals. His name is actually David John Haskins. And he is the elder brother of Kevin Haskins, drums and synths. So those two are brothers. I have to say, see, this Bauhaus started in about 78, 79, something like that. But Kevin Haskins, I think, has got a portrait up in the attic somewhere because he hasn't aged up. He looks so young in that video. Unbelievable. He'd been in his mid-20s at that point, but he looked about 18. But, very good makeup. But the name, so what happened was Bauhaus split. Pete Murphy went to America, had considerable success, I believe, as a solo artist, though none of it translated back to the UK. He's only known for a television advert he did. But the two of them, Daniel Ash and David J, formed a band called Tones on Tail, which was experimental and quite fun. And then they formed this in 1985 with Kevin Haskins, their previous, well, still his brother, but previous drummer, joined them as well. So the name is taken, Love and Rockets is taken from a very famous comic book series by the Hernandez brothers, which is one of the first sort of almost like a soap opera stroke Latin American sort of soap about family ties and values, and really broad ranging and huge volumes. And it delved into the lives and very strong female characters in it as well. So it's a great read. And they took and it's called Love and Rockets, and they took their name from that. And I say this band really were one of the most important bands in the 80s to forming the way for alternative rock becoming underground to coming into the sort of public consciousness. They really did do that, especially from their previous sort of gothic rock sound. So they brought out an album in 85, Seventh Dream of Teenage Heaven, it's all right. Then they brought out this album, where this is from, called Express in 1986. So that's the 12-inch of Yin Yang Flowerpot Man. And this is the album which it is from. And for my money, you'd struggle to find a better album that year. It is an absolute belter. It Could Be Sunshine's great, Kundalini Express. All on My Mind is an awesome song. And there's an excellent Frank Black, Black Francis cover of it. Life and Laura Ray's decent as well. Yin and Yang, Flowerpot Man. This was always the power danceable. It's the fastest one on there. Love Me is all right. All in My Mind acoustic version is all right. And American Dream is brilliant. Now, this album mixes that sort of alternative rock with psychedelia. So there's slower, trippier songs on there. There's this sort of cod Eastern philosophy going on here, but it's bastardized. This is the time when people didn't know what a chakra was, right. Apart from the guys in San Francisco who'd done the Goa Trail back in the 70s. So there's all this going on, a sort of mystique, and it's just a great album. They followed it up with Earth, Sun, Moon, which is a bit more sort of mainstream. There you go. Mainstream, more the sort of acoustic noise in there. It's a bit more accessible. I mean, still, they're both really, really easy to listen to and accessible. Absolutely fantastic. I love those two albums. And they did another 4 albums before splitting in 99. On their 4th album, I think 5th album, they did a song called So Alive, and it got to number 3 in the US Billboard Hot 100, which is a major achievement for an underground alt rock band. I mean, they were huge. that was in 1989, and they were toured everywhere for like 2 years afterwards. So they were very sort of prominent, especially in the USA at that time. They were a cult band in the UK. Did a brief reunion for some live shows in 2007, and then definitely split. So there's this great mixture of this post-punk. There's not really any gothic still in there, a little bit power. Alt rock definitely, psychedelia, and this Eastern religious imagery, as I said. This song in particular has a fantastic frenetic pace, which you don't really get with their other songs. There's songs that are upbeat, but not quite as manic as this. And I think the drummer is thankful of that. So great, again, this layered guitars going on and these effects. Unrelenting bass, and he is actually, they're all very, very decent players, but I think for certain songs particularly, they were very limited in what they were doing, this sort of gothic framework within Bauhaus.
Right.
I mean, if you listen to Bela Lugosi again, it's like 8-10 minutes of one note on the bass and one chord on the guitar, pretty much. Yeah. I would get very old very quickly if you had to play that.
yeah, that would cut it. Which is what was so great about this, was that they added all like the main portion of the song was very playful, like the way the song started and went through. But then when it really hit the stuff with the interesting electric guitar work and then the psychedelic stuff, it was like it almost speaks to like the next step of maturity in their sound that they took from what they were doing in Powerhouse. And I thought I really appreciate it at the very least. Like, this normally wouldn't be something that I went out and sought out to listen to, but this was a really fun song. This is like, it might be the only song by them that I would ever download, but I really like this. I really like this song a lot. I would listen to other of their stuff. I just say that presumptuously based off you being like, yeah, this is the most upbeat, fast song on the album, and given their roots and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad that it's songs like this and this channel and these exchanges where I'm totally getting introduced to stuff that I wouldn't otherwise have looked for, but am pleasantly surprised when they fall in my lap. So yeah, this was a cool tune. What the hell are the lyrics about?
I know you're going to say that, so I'll just say for this tune, late 80s, this was mixtape 101. 1,001 mixtapes always had this one on it. This was, one of the ones you put on. It's great.
It is really palatable and accessible, like you said, this tune. So they killed it with that.
Just about the video, it was very 80s. There's about 18 different ideas in there. The one bit I love is when they're dressed up as the giant bees.
Oh my God, dancing. I lost it for that. Yes, and the choreography on that, chef's kiss. The hours that they must have invested in nailing that down.
I don't know what. Well, I do know why they did that. It's on Bauhaus albums, sort of the inside artwork as well. You used to get doodles for the band, and I think it's Daniel Ash. I could be wrong, but he used to draw these bees. And they basically made the costume from those doodles from 4 or 5 years before. Yeah. But we're going to dress up like that. I mean, there's another bit where they're just lying there, they're sitting there, in their chair with white hoods over their heads, and what the hell is the point of that? But the other stuff, they have a lot of fun, you can see, and they've got a good sense of humor as well, which isn't always the case when they were all pinched cheeks and black and white photography.
Sure, yeah.
But anyway, the lyrics. I will preface it with this. I think it's just imagery he's just plucked out of anywhere, and I don't think there's a whole lot of meaning to it. I think it sounds quite cool, and that's about it. Okay, you'll see what I mean. Okay. So, under the wheel of the running train, like a dog in the pouring rain, diamond days cut and dry, but beauty in the hurricane's eye. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all that shit rhymes. At least there's that.
Exactly. But this one's actually AABB rhyming, so this is a step up.
Okay.
Under fire, under thumb. No golden hand, no golden sun. Diamond days cut and dry, beauty in the hurricane's eye. And then it goes on, beauty, 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 beautiful, 4 or 5 more times. And then it's the breakdown, and it goes into, it's a great line. It is absolutely meaningless, but it is a great line. Alcohol is your yoga, baby.
It's just the, and you said that I'm taken to the video of like the dramatic close up of his face.
Yeah, it's got the black
like,
ink going down.
Going
Alcohol is your yoga, baby. And then he sings, gonna call out my name, and then I'm gonna rain all over you, which is a very different pastime. And then it's Diamond Days, Cut and Dry, but Beauty in a Hurricane's Eye, and then it's beauty, 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 beautiful. Remember this: beauty, 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 beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's how the notes go. So that's the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't change my opinion. I mean, the beauty.
Print them out, frame them, put them over your bed.
Yeah, exactly. Above my bed, put that on my gravestone. Oh, story of my life. No, it's the lyrics are still fun. I mean, and they're not bad. Yeah. It's just I'm trying to, you know me, man. I'm trying to find some sort of connection there. But the yoga is your alcohol, baby. Oh, that's too much. But I do love the line "Beauty in the Hurricane's Eye." So there's that. And it's weird that you said like a train, and they start off their first allegory or whatever is a train reference. And
well, the album's called Express.
Oh, no, there you go. You're connecting all the dots for me. Maybe there is a bigger picture. Maybe this is just too high-minded for me. But yeah, I do love that. Like,
it's always that possibility.
Yeah, there is with almost everything in life, John. But yeah, I do like that. You're right. Like, not in retrospect and thinking about it, the idea of mimicking kind of drum, or the drums mimicking kind of a train sound, and same thing with the of the guitar is interesting and maybe intentional. It'd be really cool if it was. So with that, I think I'm going to take it out, man. This was really cool, really fun, interesting. I always love the listening is always fun too, but if you really connect with the song or you really have questions, it's fun to come back and chop it up and try to make sense of things.
Yeah.
So this is a fun little puzzle to toy around with. And if you ever want me to hear anything more from this or the project before this that you think is really interesting stuff, please feel free to chuck it my way. All that being said, everybody out there, hope you liked it. Please hit the like button. I think John mentioned this earlier. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Feel free to holler at us in the comments. We love talking with you guys and making connections with the people out there in the audience. All that being said, let's put a bow on it and say thank you all for watching. And until next time, John, Greg, or myself will see you on Into the Music.